In the heart of downtown Chicago, where glass towers pierced the sky and luxury cars purred past sleeping bags, a girl named Leela stood barefoot outside a glittering restaurant. Her oversized coat swallowed her frame, but her eyes held a spark most had lost long ago. Inside the restaurant, behind a tinted window, sat a man once known as a titan of industry, James Calder, paralyzed from the waist down and hidden from the world. People called him the Ghost CEO. He hadn't smiled in months. Not since the accident, not since the betrayal, not since Hope quietly packed up and left, until she knocked on his window. Leela wasn't begging, not really. She didn't ask for cash or shoes or a ride. She asked for something stranger. When James signaled for his aide to lower the window, she peered in with trembling fingers and said, "Trade your leftovers for a cure." He blinked. "Excuse me." "I know how that sounds, but I've been working at a soup kitchen near the university hospital. A doctor there. He's working on something big, a new neural stimulator. He's broke. His funding's gone. I thought maybe you could give him a shot." James stared, stunned. Then he laughed. A cold, dry, hollow sound. "You want me to trade my steak scraps for a miracle?" She nodded nervously. "Even leftovers are treasure to someone with nothing." He waved her off. The window hummed back up. But as he looked down at his untouched filet mignon, cut into perfect squares by his caretaker, he felt a strange weight pressing on his chest. It wasn't pity, it was memory of when he too once knocked on doors no one answered. That night James couldn't sleep. The girl's words haunted him. He asked his assistant to pull security footage, then track her. Within hours he had a name, Leela Mendez, 16, mother deceased, father missing. Living in a homeless shelter, and she wasn't lying. Dr. Evan Clark, an exiled neurologist, was building something extraordinary in a closet-sized lab behind a soup kitchen. James visited the lab in secret, and what he saw nearly brought him to tears. The doctor was using soda cans, wires from old laptops, and sheer desperation to build a prototype that just might work, but he had no money, no credibility. In no time, James called his board, liquidated part of his personal assets, funded the lab without putting his name on anything. He told no one, except Leela. "I traded my leftovers," he said, smiling faintly. "Let's see if it's worth the bargain." Months passed. Then one cold February morning, James stood, staggered really, on trembling legs, with two scientists, a weeping nurse, and a shaking Leela watching. His first steps were ugly, but they were his. He dropped to his knees and laughed like a man reborn. And for the first time in years he wept, not because he could walk, but because someone who had nothing had believed he still had something to give. Today, Leela Mendez is the director of the Hope Initiative, a nonprofit run by James Calder that funds young inventors, medical researchers, and kids like her, who dare to knock on windows and believe in impossible trades. When asked how she changed the life of a billionaire, Leela simply says, "I didn't. I just reminded him he wasn't finished yet." And James, he often tells people that the most valuable investment he ever made wasn't in stocks or property. It was in a girl who saw worth in his scraps. Final message: sometimes the world waits for miracles from above, but more often than not, they come barefoot in oversized coats with voices that tremble, but don't break. All it takes is someone to believe in what's left over.